Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome back into another edition of Astros Recap. It is, of course, Sunday night, 10:53 p.m., July 16th, 2021. So, another week in the books of Astros baseball, as they now have played 41 games. Sounds right, 41 games this year. So, 121 more games to go. Sounds right. I'm doing mental math in my head, so just bear with me. Astros very good week, 6-1. So whenever they play 7 games in a week, usually the goal is 5-2. So obviously 6-1, game better. Happy with that. Taking 2 of 3 against the Angels, and then sweeping the Rangers basically out of town. Which no one team I want to beat more than the Rangers probably. Well, the Yankees are up there, but the Rangers, in-state rival. They beat up on us for many years, so still in the process of trying to get them back. But anyway, good week overall, 24-17, so they've really distanced themselves in the standings in terms of Seattle's like 3 back. I believe the Angels and the Rangers are even further, like 3 more back of that. So, and we're only a half game out of first place now, so we're right on Oakland's tail, and we actually play them coming up here on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Our next series will be in Oakland, so chance to jump back into first. Obviously enjoyed first place for the first week and a half of the season before they sort of started to fall away and Oakland got hot, but things are starting to even out a little bit more here, so be a lot of good things to talk about. Obviously they lost on Monday, and then they won 6 in a row. So they're on a 6-game winning streak, so that's obviously good. The Rangers, I felt like, hurt themselves a lot more in the series, so we just took advantage, basically, of them playing bad baseball. I mean, they didn't make a ton of errors, I felt like, but they just weren't really good. I felt like their starting pitching was pretty bad. I mean, we benefited from that. I mean, Kyle Gibson, who pitched today, is their best starter, and we only got 1 or 2 runs off of them, but I feel like in the other games we really scored early and often. But, I mean, they were walking guys, and I don't know, I just felt like the Rangers, we benefited, it's part of the game, obviously, is benefiting from the other team's mistakes, but I'm not going to fault the Astros at all, obviously, but, I mean, you take what's given, so, but we'll get into things here. So, obviously, they really should have won all these games this week. They really should have gone 7-0. Monday they blew it. I mean, they were up 4-1. Luis Garcia was sailing along in this game. The Astros had numerous opportunities. This goes back to something I think I brought up last week. When you have chances to really open up the game, give yourself a 5-6 run lead, it's very important that you take advantage of those opportunities, because the Astros lose a game where they had a 4-1 lead. It's just that simple. So, I mean, they lose it 5-4 as they give up all 4 runs to the Angels in the 6th inning. Belak came in. He actually struggled. He got the loss. Garcia hasn't gotten a major league win yet. He actually did here on Saturday, I want to say. So he finally got one, but at this point he still hadn't. And he's pitched into some tough luck, because his ERA, I mean, he was sailing along after 5 innings. He really struggled there in the 6th, but his final line was a 5 1/3 with 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks, gave up 2 home runs. But Belak came in and got the loss and blew the save. He only got out, but he gave up 2 earned runs himself. So Belak's ERA all the way up to over 5 now. Raley comes in, and Brooks Raley. Brooks Raley comes in, and of course he walks the first hitter he faces. That's typical Brooks Raley. He usually comes in facing a lefty, which is where you sort of like to match things up, and he walks the lefty. But he actually got out of this inning. So he struck out the side, I want to say. But got out of the 6th inning The seventh inning, I think, is the one where he struck out the side. Of course, the bases, I think, were loaded at some point, so it's not like Rayleigh's some world beater. He got lucky. I will say that confidently, that Brooks Raley got lucky in this game. ERA after the inning in the third, 1 hit, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 8.36. So you, I don't know. I guess you're happy he didn't give up any runs, but I mean, again, it's Brooks Raley. It's Brooks Raley. And then Joe Smith got 2 outs in the 8th inning. And then Kent Emanuel goes an inning in the third. He walked a guy, he also struck out a guy, but other than that, he was pretty clean. So Kent Emanuel and Brooks Raley are your 2 lefties in the bullpen. And I'll get to this in a little bit. I'm not going to bring this up now, but I'll talk about our 2 lefties in the bullpen here momentarily, so just stay tuned. But you lose the game 5-4. I blame... it's hard to blame Garcia. You give up 3 runs, and you're working at the 6th inning. Belak deserves a lot of blame for that, but even more, well, not more so, but equally the offense had the opportunities there. And this has been an issue. Like, I don't like to complain a lot when the team goes 6-1, like the way they did. But their hitting with runners in scoring position is just absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I can't give you like an average, but it's not good. It's probably somewhere in the 100s area. Today they actually did good, but I believe yesterday they were like 3 for 13. Friday they weren't very good. They weren't good in this game. That's been an issue. I mean, a recurring thing. I mean, in the playoffs, not in 2020, but especially in 2019, they get to, the 7th game of the World Series, obviously. But they probably win that World Series if they just hit with runners in scoring position, because that's something they couldn't do at all against the Yankees. It's just been it's one of those things that they've dealt with that they But again, they went 6-1. So if you're winning games with that issue, you really can't complain, I guess, too much. I just think that when you play tougher teams, you have to take advantage of opportunities where you have runners on base. And the Astros haven't done an amazing job at that this year so far, especially within the last week or so. Just thought I'd bring that up there. But that was the only game they lost. That's the only one to sort of be upset about. But the offense and Belak really were the reasons they lose that game. Bounced back, went 5-1 on Wednesday. Lance McCullers was very good. He does get the win. It's good that he got the win. He went 8 innings, and he was basically unhittable for most of it. But for Lance to go 8 innings is incredible with the way he pitches. But he threw 96 pitches through 8, 3 hits, 1 earned run, which was a home run by Taylor Ward in the opposite field. 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. ERA moves down to 3.10. Presley gets the save out of the bullpen as we were leading 1-0 for a while. I think Altuve hit a home run off of Shohei Ohtani in the 5th inning. And the Astros came up big in the bottom half of the 8th after the Angels tied it, scoring 4 times. So let's see if I can get some scoring summaries here for you. So actually Tucker hit the home run to get in the lead. Take that back. So it wasn't Altuve. Tucker hit an opposite field home run. He's been better, so I will say that. Taylor Ward, like I mentioned, hit the home run, but Brantley had a big RBI single, and then Gurriel had a big 3-run shot that really opened it up. And Presley, he doesn't get the save. He just got the inning there, yeah. 4-run lead, that's not a save situation. So, but bouncing back after the tough loss on Monday was nice, and then they blow them out here on Wednesday. They win 9-1. So this was, home runs, hit 5 home runs. So Altuve, Gurriel, Tucker, Alvarez, and McCormick all hit home runs in this game. In fact, Altuve hit a home run on the first pitch of the game, I believe. But yeah, Gurriel, Tucker, Alvarez, and McCormick. So yeah, we scored early and often, 3 in the first, 2 in the 6th, 4 more in the 8th. And only 1 run was given up in the 8th inning here. The only bad news in this game is that Urquidy actually gets hurt. So Urquidy, who had turned things around and had a few good starts in a row, was bringing the ERA down. But he gets taken out in the fourth inning after getting 2 outs. So he goes 3 2/3, 2 hits, struck out 4, didn't walk anybody. ERA at 3.22, but he's out. He had shoulder tightness or discomfort. I don't know exactly what it's called, but when I hear shoulder or forearm or throwing hand or whatever from a pitcher, usually not a good sign. So I don't have an update on Urquidy. I might have missed it, so if you know the update or what the situation is, please leave that in the comments section below. I'll definitely check those out. But I don't see him back for a while, so that's not good news because you already don't have Odorizzi, you don't have Framber Valdez, now you don't have Jose Urquidy. Garcia's been formidable filling in for Odorizzi, but I don't know where you go. So obviously, we'll see what the diagnosis is, which I don't know at this moment. But they have a day off tomorrow, so they're just going to skip his spot in the rotation and go to Javier on Tuesday, and then back to the top with Greinke and Garcia on Wednesday and Thursday. So with the days off, let me just look at the calendar real quick here to see if, you have an off day. So you have an off day Monday. They're going to have to find somebody to fill that spot because they have an off day the following Monday as well. But, you have 6 games in between there, so you'll have to find somebody. I have no idea who they would. I don't know how close Odorizzi is. Apparently, Framber's actually back out on starting a rehab assignment. So Framber might be closer than Odorizzi because I haven't heard. Odorizzi originally was going to be out maybe, the 10-day IL stint and then come back and not even need a rehab assignment. But then I heard that he was going to need a rehab assignment. So I haven't heard any news on Odorizzi. But Framber, if he might be back. Of course, he'll need about 2-3 starts, I would say at least. So, Framber's still probably at least 2 weeks away. I would just say June for him. But, I guess you could use Belak, although I'm not very confident in him. But if you need a spot start just for one time, I guess I might be okay with that. So we'll see. But no real news on Urquidy there, and obviously him going on the IL opens up a spot, and Enoli Paredes is back in the bullpen, so he pitched today, which I'll talk about in a minute. But Paredes, I think, needs to be a big part of this bullpen because we need all the help we can get right now in that bullpen because although they've been better of late, it's still a tough situation for them. So, but you take 2 or 3 after losing game 1, so that's all you could really ask for. Again, you're just trying to win series here. And then Texas wanted to take 3 or 4. They went on Thursday, a walk-off wild pitch. This was another game where they had tons of opportunities. The amount of men they leave on base is just insane. But, they do get the win. So, and let's see here. So Javier goes 7 innings. He had the rough start a few starts ago in Tampa Bay where he had a scoreless streak going. He gave up 3 runs on a 3-run shot. And the Astros, he didn't lose that game, but the Astros ended up losing it. But then his last start I believe, was against the Blue Jays, and he really struggled in that one, giving up 5 early runs, and we couldn't really overcome it. But comes in, he goes 7. It looked like his pitch count was rushing up there, but he still got through 7. Quality start, 3 earned runs, struck out 6, walked 2, ERA at 3.08. So Javier, 2 out of 3 starts, 2 of them were quality, but the worst quality start you can have basically is 3 runs. But that gives your guys a chance. So Javier right now is basically your 5th starter. if you just want to go down the line. But he's been pretty good this year. I'm not going to complain. So we won the game too. Stanek comes in, gets a scoreless inning. He actually walked 2 guys, but got 2 strikeouts. ERA at 1.65. So Stanek, one of the better bullpens, one of the better relievers in our bullpen. Presley worked the 9th, I want to say, and struck out a guy. ERA at 1.59. So Presley also doing good back end bullpen. Brayu comes in, walked a guy, got a strikeout. His ERA is now under 4 at 3.79. I believe it dropped even more. So I'm not sold on Brayu quite yet, but at least he's looking better. Had that 4 or 5 outing stretch where he really struggled and gave up runs, I think, in every single one of them, but he's been better at least the last few times out. Brian Abreu comes in, gets an inning, I just said that. Rayleigh actually gets the one of the bullpen. He goes an inning, walked a guy, obviously. You look at Brooks Rayleigh line, every line's going to have a walk, and usually it's that first batter he faces. He comes out of the bullpen, he just can't throw strikes right off the bat, so... And usually the strikes he throws get hit and hit hard. But he actually got 2 strikeouts and moved the ERA now under 8 at 7.80. But the Astros really should have won this game. They should have blew him out. But you got the win in 11 innings, so there's that. Friday. So the Astros scored 3 in the second, 4 in the third, and they were leading 7-1 after that. So if your starter can't get the win after doing that, you're in bad shape. Zach Greinke here, who we've talked last week about him just not being able to be an ace, basically. He gets the win. He wasn't great. He was okay. He goes 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. 5 walks, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. So the line's not bad. The 7 hits are pretty bad, though. ERA at 4.18. He's got the highest ERA of anybody in our rotation right now. And he's your quote-unquote ace. Yeah, I don't like that. But he does get the win because it's hard not to when your offense goes out and does what they did. Kent Emanuel gets the 8th inning. And then he gives up an earned run, hit. No walks, no strikeouts. 2.81 ERA, though, for Emanuel, which is good. Joe Smith gets the final inning, gave up a hit, but didn't allow any runs, no walks, no strikeouts. 6.23, so Joe Smith doing a little better as well. So I want to stop for a second here and actually, so they win this game 10-4. Before I do that, quick summary here, because 10 runs, I need to make some mention of how they scored these runs. So gotta go to the wrap here. So Maldonado hit his 2nd home run, 2-run shot there. But Tucker had an RBI single. Miles Straw an RBI single. Brantley had a sac fly. Kyle Tucker, another RBI single. RBI walk, Miles Straw. RBI walk, Martin Maldonado. This was the game I was thinking about when I said the Rangers really helped the Astros by not pitching well. Robel Garcia scored a run on a double play. You don't get the RBI for that, but that scored their 7th run. And then Miles Straw, another RBI single. It's also an error by the catcher, Adolis Garcia. And then Maldonado hit the 2-run home run to score the 9th and 10th runs. So there's that. Take a minute here. So Dusty Baker, have some issues with him. So Dusty Baker, and we've talked about this here. Brooks Rayleigh, obviously, he's actually pitched today as well. Had another scoreless outing. So Brooks Rayleigh has had 3 scoreless outings. He's 3 straight scoreless outings. He's the one player that's actually on my list, along with Carlos Correa. Abreu's off. Joe Smith is off. The list, again, to explain it real quick, is the players I really can't stand on this team because they just suck. So Brooks Rayleigh is still on that list, and yeah, Carlos Correa. Kent Emanuel, the other lefty, needs to get more high-leverage situations. I don't understand Dusty Baker's decision-making when he goes to Rayleigh constantly in high leverage situations. It makes absolutely zero sense. I don't get it. Emmanuel, I just says ERA is 2.81. Now Emmanuel's first outing was basically out of the bullpen after, Odorizzi got hurt that one start, and Emmanuel went 8 2/3 and closed it out, gave up 2 runs, but pitched very well. And Emmanuel hasn't been perfect, obviously, but he needs to find himself. Every time he comes in the game at the bullpen, the Astros have some huge lead, and it's just like, all right, well, it looks like he just needs to get some work, so we'll throw him in there. I just don't get it. It makes zero sense. Any guy with a brain that watches Astros baseball know that Kent Emanuel is the better of the 2 lefties because Rayleigh's terrible. Again, Rayleigh pitched in Korea for like 4 or 5 years because he wasn't good enough to pitch here. And I said that last week as well. So, I mean, Kent Emanuel needs to be the lefty. You at least give him a chance. But to not even, like, the fact that he's an afterthought is insane to me. And yeah, Blake Taylor out on the IL right now, and I have no update on him either. But I'm sick of Brooks Raley. I know he's giving you 3 scoreless outings. I'm not going to be tricked by Brooks Raley and start to think that he's some important piece in the bullpen, because he's not. And I want Emmanuel to get more shots in high leverage situations. So I'll just say that. Dusty Baker, dude, you amaze me with some of the decisions you decide to make. And I didn't criticize Dusty after this year. Might be done. I don't know, to be honest with you. But I didn't criticize Dusty last year at all. Of course, there was only 60 games, and our bullpen was a complete mess last year too, aside from a few guys. But I didn't criticize him at all last year. In fact, he really earned his stripes with me in the postseason when they started playing good baseball. But Kent Emanuel, that's one of the things I have an issue with. I want to see him pitch more, because he doesn't get enough outings as it is. And if you want to play the whole lefty on lefty and you want to play the matchups, then use Kent Emanuel in those matchups more so than Brooks Raley. It's not that hard. But I'm not going to dump on Brooks Raley. In fact, I don't want to dump on Brooks Raley anymore, because when I see him out there, I just need to point the finger at Dusty Baker from here on out, because it's his fault. His fault. But we'll continue here. Astros win that game 10-4. And then on Saturday they went 6-5. They're actually up 6-1. Correa had a 2-run home run. Tucker also had a home run. Tucker's home run actually ended up being like the game winner when you look in hindsight, because it was a 2-run shot in the 7th. The Astros, were up 6-1, but they allowed 4 runs in the 8th. This was one of Stanek's actually not great outings, as he, Garcia gets his first win in this game, going 5 innings, 5 hits, one earned run, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, 3.34 ERA, but gets his first major league win. Abreu gets 2 innings, 2 scoreless innings. He gave up a hit, struck out a guy, 3.43 for Abreu, but Stanek comes in, and he was not good. He only got 1 out. 2 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks. Gave up a home run, I believe, to Joey Gallo. But 3.78. So believe it or not, Brian Abreu's ERA is lower than Stanek, as his ERA ballooned to 3.78. But Stanek's allowed to have, I guess, a bad outing with how well he's pitched. But that was not a good one on Saturday. Bielak came in and got through the rest of the inning, and then Presley gets the save. Goes 1-2-3 in his inning. 7 for 7 in saves, 1.50 ERA. So Presley in the back end's been good. So that's sort of your box score pitching wise. But Correa had the big 2-run home run. Tucker had the big 2-run home run. Again, Correa, I'm not. We'll get to the averages here in a second, but let's see here. I'm trying to look, because I actually missed a lot of this game. But Bregman had an RBI single, which scored the first run. Hold on. I'm not even looking at this right. Am I even in the... Let me see this. Hold on. I'm not even looking at the right game, I don't think. Yeah, I'm not. All right. Back on track here. So, yeah, Bregman had an RBI single. Correa had the 3-run home run, which scored the 4 runs in the first. And then Tucker's 2-run shot. So that's your 6 runs. And the Astros hold on to win. They win this one 6-2. Low scoring early on. McKellar's got the start, of course. The Astros do score 1 in the first on an RBI single by Bregman to score a run. They score another one in the 5th on an RBI fielder's choice, I believe, by Carlos Correa. McCullers goes 6 scoreless. That's back-to-back very good starts. In fact, moves his ERA all the way down to 2.70. But Andre Scrubb came in and he blew a save. Scrubb, who's been, good for us, but he gives up a 2-run home run to David Dahl, which ties the game at 2. But the Astros do score 4 times in the bottom half of the 8th. So they've had some games where they score some late runs either to, inflate the lead or take the lead if it's been tied. So 4 runs in the 8th inning, which was nice. They get the win there. Let's see. Baguri a sac fly. There was an RBI single by McCormick, which was a 2-run single. Bregman scored. Play was reviewed. Call was upheld, and Miles Straw also had an RBI single. So 6-2, obviously. Ninoli Paredes got his first outing since like April 5th or something like that, or whatever it was, or mid-April. I'm not sure exactly his last outing, but he was good. One thing I wanted to look at when I saw Paredes today is make sure he threw strikes, because he has an issue doing that. Did allow a hit, but got 2 strikeouts, and ERA's at 0. So I guess he didn't give up runs, but he made things interesting. But Paredes is going to have to be a guy in the back end of that bullpen, along with people like Ryan Stanek and Andre Scrubb, that need to be big parts of that bullpen back end. Paredes showed us a lot last year in that circumstance. In fact, I thought Paredes going into the year would be our closer. I kind of wanted to make that move, but obviously early on, can have his troubles throwing strikes, and that's not what you want out of a closer. So Presley's the more proven guy. I just thought, Paredes had the stuff to be a closer, and I still believe that. So, but yeah, 6 in 1 week. I forgot to mention Brooks Raley actually pitched in this game. This was his 3rd scoreless outing where he went an inning. He actually gets the win. Struck out the side. This is incredible, but 7.31 ERA. Brooks Raley has to do a lot more. He has to show me a lot of scoreless consecutive outings before I have any faith in Brooks Raley in games. You can't. I'm not going to be tricked. Okay, I did this with Abreu. Early on in the season, he was doing fine. He wasn't perfect, but he wasn't giving up runs. So I said, Brady's a guy I trust, and then he goes out and shows me I can't trust him because he goes 4 or 5 consecutive outings giving up runs. Did that. Said I was skeptical about Raley going into the season. Proved my skepticism his first however many outings because he was absolutely, completely terrible. Done better his last 3 outings, so I don't know if this is good or bad news because now that he's pitched pretty well his last 3 outings, Dusty Baker's going to be more inclined to use him, which I think is still a mistake. But we'll wait and see. But I just shake my head when I see Raley come into a game, especially when it's close. I just shake my head. Yeah. But coming up on 30 minutes here, so I took my time going through the 7 games. The Astros play 3 with Oakland next week here. And then they'll go to Texas for 3. So 6 games this week. Oakland's going to be in, a big series for them. Just try to win 2 or 3 there, and then obviously still just trying to win series. The Astros have won 6 of their last 7 series, so they had won 3 straight when they beat, LA 3 out of 4. They beat Seattle 3-4. They beat Tampa Bay 2-3. They lose 2-3 to New York, but beat Toronto 2-3. Angels 2-3, and the Rangers, they sweep the 4-game set. So 6 out of 7 series they have won. Just that one Yankee series, or they would have won 7 consecutive series. Homestand was good. 10-game homestand now complete, but 8-2 homestand, so you'll never complain about that. And 24-17, so their high water mark, 7 games over 500. Hopefully we'll keep improving that, but I can't be too mad with the team right now. Offense is doing their part, scoring runs, taking advantage. Well, not taking full advantage of opportunities, obviously, but still scoring runs. Starting staff has done their job. They've kept us in ball games. No quote unquote ace really in that staff, but a lot of people that you trust that can get you, starting to get later in the ball games, is starting to put up, at least numbers that give our offense more than legit chance. And then the bullpen was a lot better this week, so things looking good. Obviously, can't be upset. But I'll sort of wrap things up there, and we'll talk to you in a week.